Hello everybody, welcome back. Today we are reading a Dabi X Villain Listener called Love Hate. I actually haven't read through this one, but I read the ending so I know it's a happy ending. So we got that. I just haven't read through it because I have 30 minutes to record this, upload it, and then also make myself some food so I don't starve. So, let's get into it. You hated him so much, along with everyone else in this damn group. Why did you decide to waste your time on useless bastards like this who throw temper tantrums over not having a villain-ruled world? To be fair, you couldn't care less at this point, but it was either that or you get my face deteriorated by the damn asshole who decided you were now part of the group. You mean, what would you choose, a slow death, or to join a group that makes the deaths, huh? It started about a few months ago when Hero Killer Stain got captured by UA students, causing tons of villains to rise up against everything and come out of the shadows. You were an average person with a similar taste to pain and violence that was over the edge of the normal person's mind. You loathed to capture people and steal everything they own, but you kept quiet and to yourself so that you wouldn't get yourself caught like the ignorant villains out there the daytime. The one night where you actually went out on the street to go and grab some groceries was the one where they had found you. Wanted you for your skill since you killed with ease and had barely any emotion. You shouldn't have done anything or else you wouldn't have been here, but you guess you can't undo the past, can you, huh? Especially when you are one of the most wanted solo working villains. Yeah, that's why you kept quiet and changed everything when you went out in the outside world. I say we torture this son of a bitch until he speaks, Twice said as he cracks his knuckles, letting his other side show in his words slightly. As Toga stood close to him, smelling his scent as he sat there with no escape of her creepiness. Those two were crazy, you swore, but you soon grew to having them like a family. You glanced over at the one you hated the most in the beginning. He rested his head against the back of the storage crate as he watched as Toga drank his blood that dripped from the large gash on his arm. You removed the sucker stick you had been chewing on and frowned at the hostage. The concern and horror in his eyes were growing, but it sadly was just embarrassing. Just kill him already, you muttered impatiently as you brought your pistol out and aimed it straight between his eyes. You glanced down and realized he had wet himself entirely from the shock of it all. He was really that scared of us. You couldn't help but laugh as you watched his face turn red, glancing down and over so he wouldn't embarrass himself even more than he already did. No, we torture him until he talks, Dabi inverted and took your gun away from you. He knew you hated when people told you what to do. You were already to your breaking point from him. Because you couldn't take his attitude, you rolled your eyes and pulled out your blade and stuck your tongue out at him. You had multiple weapons around your waist tied to your belt, so you could continue to do this all day with him, to be honest. He's not going to say shit. Lips are sealed, so there's no point. Plus, I think I already scared him enough not to tell anyone anything. We could get something out of him if we pinch his last nerve, Dabi countered. What you had said with a roll of his eyes, soon after glaring at you with hate. You groaned and cut along the guy's chest with your knife, sitting on the edge of his lap so you wasn't in his fresh piss. He had accidentally let go of. You yawned out of boredom and cut his cheek. You smiled and let Toga lick your knife as you continued to cut into small areas of his skin. Hearing him cry out, you glanced behind you and watched as Dabi stood there uncomfortably, like he couldn't stand still. You smirked as moved your spot on the edge of his knees closer to his body. You cut alongside the guy's arms just to hear him whimper in pain. Creating small cuts along the forearms, you cupped his cheek with a smile and brought your blade up closer and closer to his eye. He started to shake and cry, and you got closer and closer to him. You shrugged and cut from the bottom eye lid down in multiple streaks, but soon held your knife right above his eyeball, dangling it right above his pupil, and even faked dropping it a few times to scare him. Tears stained his cheeks as he whimpered to the point where he couldn't breathe. God, this is gonna have to have a trigger warning on it. If you don't speak up, I'll cut your eyes out and slowly cut your fingers off joint by joint, then your wrists and ankles. Okay, I'll speak. I'll speak. Just get her away from me, please. He pleaded in an all-out sob to the others. You chuckled as you stabbed his upper thigh quickly with the blade you had and walked off, hearing his last scream before he started to talk to Tomaran twice. You leaned against the storage bin and smiled at Dabi as he slowly averted his gaze from the hostage to you. He took your wrist and walked off with you in the other room quickly to get away from everyone else. Hey, I might have to go back there and torture him again, you whined as he pinned your wrist against the wall, kissing your lips roughly and lustfully. He pulled back and smirked at you and started to leave a trail of kisses from your collarbone up to your lips. That looks so hot, not going to lie, baby, he muttered as he continued to suck on your scarred skin. Did you forget to mention that the guy you hated most was your boyfriend? No, yeah, you did. Well, now you know why that you hate him, right? Then. He always had to make you mad. Just then, he took your pistol away from you out of spite. You hated him so much, but at the same time, you loved him with all your heart. He lifted up your legs, and you wrapped them around his waist. He continued to kiss your skin, finding the spot he always marked most, since it was your sweet spot. You let out a small... Give me a second. Okay. Just had to make sure this wasn't a lemon. You let out a small quiet moan as you ran your hand through his hair, kissing his chapped lips lustfully as well. We were literally in the other room from everyone. He always had to pick the worst places, didn't he? You smiled as you stared into his blue eyes. You cupped his cheeks and continued to kiss him, letting him roam your mouth with his tongue. Why did we need you back in here? You heard Toge yell in a sing-song voice from the other room. You sighed as you heard him groan and dropped me entirely on the floor. You flipped him off before standing up and taking your other knife and held it up to his throat while he aimed his fire right at the back of your head. I hate you so much. I love you too, sweetheart. Go kill him for me, will ya? He asked as you walked back to the other room. You smirked as you held your knife close to your cheek. He stared in horror at you as you walked closer and closer to him. Didn't answer fully, I see. Well, there goes the finger then, you said, as you cut off his pinky finger, tossing it aside into a bucket twice. Remember to get after the last time you had to do this? All you could do was smile as you stared back at Dabi smirking at you. This wasn't for him, though. This was for your enjoyment personally. And that's all. That got spicy. Okay. Thank you all for listening. I hope you enjoyed. Yeah. Oh, I wanted to apologize. Okay, so some people are asking me to turn down my music. I'm trying to figure that out. The screen recording app that I use, I play music on my computer while I'm recording, and what I use, it picks it up, but it's always at the same exact volume every single time. Even if I put the volume down to 2 so I can barely hear the music, it will always be the same, and it's very annoying. But anyway, thank you all for listening. I hope you have a good day, and yeah, bye!